How did you feel when you lost to those teams that, there were three opportunities where we lost? Sorry? It wasn't a loss, it was experience. That's a good point. Yep.
Annoyed, I do hate to lose.
Annoyed? You hate to lose? I hate to lose too, but I became better at losing. In the beginning, I was a sore loser. I didn't get mad at my opposition. I got mad at myself, and I was horrible to be around. But in the end, towards the end of your career, when you're more mature, as we all are, we learn to look at, the mistakes and trying to work it out. And these days, I'm probably on the other end of the scale where I overanalyze everything and go, right, that didn't work. Why didn't it work? Straight away. So, that is obviously something that you pick up being an athlete for many years, because there are many losses. I mean, in one match, we lose, 50 rallies perhaps, even if we win the match. It's like in tennis. They lose so many rallies. You've just got to hold your focus throughout the whole time. And speaking of holding your focus, I just wanted to share a quick story about the Sydney Olympics. As I said before, when we came out onto the sand in Bondi in front of 10,000 Australians screaming for us in a tiny bikini, so, it's a bit scary. We walked out there and we were like, whoa, this is amazing. We'd never had so many people cheering for us. So it was 10,000 voices going, yeah, when we won a point, and then 10,000 voices feeling sorry for us. So we were on this emotional roller coaster. And after the first match, which we nearly lost against a team that we beat all the time, but 11-all, somehow we picked it up and ended up winning 15-11. We thought we needed to get some inspiration and some advice from some other athletes that perhaps had been in that position. So we figured who is in the Australian team, who we know that comes back to Australia and has the weight of the nation on their shoulders. And I thought Pat Rafter, who was in the team that year, would be a perfect example, would come back and everyone's cheering him on to win, the Australian Open every year. And so we made an appointment. We didn't know Pat. Our physical trainer knew his physical trainer, so use your contacts, get that connection. And he said, yeah, no problem, I'll help you. And again, it's just asking the question. Successful people love to share. So we came together, and one of the things, we spent about an hour with him and Leighton Hewitt and a few of the other tennis players. And it was fun and we chatted, but we really brought up the fact that how do you deal with the crowd when they're cheering for you and you feel like you're responsible for every point? And he just said to me, Kerry, you've got to really cut out the crowd. You've got to feel them there, but don't listen to them. Really just be eye-to-eye contact with Nat, build yourself a cone of silence around you and Nat, because it's just you on the court. And I took that away and I started to imagine for the rest of the week that I was building this cone of silence like on Get Smart, when he goes in and does his telephone calls. And I still remember from the video yesterday, when the last ball landed out and I went down onto the sand, and the feeling was like that cone of silence that I'd built above me just sort of shattered down onto the sand. And I looked up and all of a sudden I saw the faces, because those 10,000 people had become faceless for me throughout that week. And then all of a sudden it was open. So sometimes we just have to go into our little bubble and get something done and focus and not be distracted by what's going on around us. And that was an ultimate test, I guess. That was an ultimate test.